Our newscast coming to you live along the banks of the Ohio this evening, where the water levels continue to rise, and because of that, we are following some breaking news just within the last 30 minutes. New mandatory evacuation orders. Some people in some neighborhoods being told it is no longer safe to be in your home. Let's run through those neighborhoods first. Right here about 41st and West Market. You can see here there's a squad car blocking the scene here and some crime tape keeping us and the public a safe distance back. I want to flip now, though, to the big one, the Thomas Fire. This interactive map we have on 10news.com will really show you how much it's grown just in the last 24 hours. The idea is that this is easy to use. If you're having an emergency, you would dial 911 just like you always would. Only with this technology, instead of just telling a dispatcher what's happening around you, you can show them, similar to a FaceTime call. One last thing I wanted to ask you, too. Look, we got people. I try to stay in the gym. I'm no Terry Crews here, but hey, they give me crap about the flex and everything. Will you tell everybody back here the flex is your thing?
The flex is my thing, man. But you know what?
I'm not taking that from you.
Let me tell you something. It's hard to keep these buttons on. That's the thing.
You got the turtleneck on there too. That's even tighter. You got to get a bigger jacket for that.
Yeah, you know, I keep it tight and right.
They are now working to get dozens of people and their luggage out of that hotel and to a safe spot. So how are they going to do that? Well, let's show you. There are several military vehicles here. Some of these have flat beds on them. This one where you see the soldiers getting in and out of. And then in the distance, this direction, several TARC buses. We have some breaking news just coming into our newsroom now. It is justice and relief for the family of Crystal Rogers inside the courtroom, as now 2 of the 3 men convicted in the disappearance and presumed murder of Crystal Rogers have now been sentenced. It happened just a couple of minutes ago. And it was a huge moment in horse racing history because it broke a 37-year drought of Triple Crown winners. Last one, 78 affirmed. And so it ended up being, we did some stories leading up to this. A lot of folks say that's one of the derbies that you have to know because of that long streak and American Pharoah breaking it. We have an update now to a wave troubleshooter investigation where a man sat in jail for months for a crime he says he didn't commit. It's hard to imagine being arrested in front of your kids on Christmas Eve, then sitting there confused, upset, alone in a cell. Michael Anderson shares his story with me, hoping it doesn't happen to someone else. January 15th, 2023. A domestic violence incident in Louisville's Smoketown neighborhood escalates. Watch, a man shoots at a woman out of the window of this car before speeding off.
He just shot at me too, so that's what the shot was.
Police show up, body cams rolling, capturing their conversation with the victim.
I was literally going in the house when he shot, so he could have shot me, but he shot at me, because he shot at the house.
She tells police she knows exactly who did it too. His name, Michael Anderson.
Do you know any other information except that his name is Michael Anderson?
Police issue a warrant for Anderson's arrest, and that's when this case takes a turn. Here to explain and assist in our investigation, attorney Sarah Collins.
It was referred to LMPD's domestic violence unit, where Detective Larry Farmer was assigned the case, and he went on CourtNet and picked Michael Anderson, a black man, out of CourtNet. Unfortunately, he picked the wrong Michael Anderson.
The one he picked,
Michael Anderson.
This Michael Anderson. He'd been arrested for panhandling, was taken to jail in front of his children on Christmas Eve, and also charged with that domestic violence shooting.
It says that you fired 1 shot in the direction of the victim.
He tries to explain, this isn't me. I've never heard of this woman.
I'm literally not the person.
The courtroom confused.
He believes that someone is using social media.
What? What do you mean? Who? Like, does that relate to this case? Yes. Like, you're saying this wasn't you?
And off to jail he'd go.
What I explained didn't mean anything.
Away from his 8 kids.
That feels like kidnapping to me.
For 5 months.
There is no speaking once you get behind the wall, so there is no walk to the judge and say, I'm not the guy, can I go home?
Anderson appears in court time and time again.
Scared, confused, angry.
Finally this spring, his public defender points out the obvious.
I think very much Mr. Anderson is not
the Mr. Anderson that this occurred with. He has also said he does not know her.
The man on this surveillance video firing a gun clearly is not the man sitting in jail.
The man who's on that shot spotter video has a much lighter skin tone than my client.
The assistant Commonwealth's attorney, the public defender, and the judge all agree, the judge adding her surprise that Detective Larry Farmer accused the wrong man.
You know, this is embarrassing. I don't feel as though I had any way to know. Not objective.
No, you wouldn't know. Larry Farmer should have.
My hope is that LMPD takes accountability, that this detective takes accountability.
Collins is now handling Anderson's case. These charges have been dismissed. He's out of jail, but the damage is done. Now the two are fighting for accountability from police.
And take steps to correct that. We don't really see that from LMPD. And it has to happen, or we're going to continuously have problems with this department.
Anderson, happy to be back with his children, making memories like these, but forever changed from this experience.
I am nervous about it happening again because if they don't fix the procedures.
I took our investigation into this case to LMPD, wondering how did this mistake happen? The department tells me a professional standards unit case was opened on August 12th. LMPD says the department can't make any other public statements at this time, but they did add there is an internal investigation and that is ongoing. Additionally, the Civilian Review and Accountability Board met to discuss complaints related to Anderson's case today. We're still waiting to hear the outcome of that meeting. In an old 1800s building near 3rd and Ormsby, a group of seniors makes this their daily routine.
I'm here from time we open till time we close. So that gives me something to do, laugh and joke and have fun.
Stanley Baker has been coming to the Arthur Kling Center in Old Louisville for 12 years.
This is the only place that somebody could come within a 10-mile radius.
Since 1978, the Kling Center has been a safe place for older adults, especially low income, to meet, hang out, and get a hot meal, no questions asked.
There was an old song came out in the early 60s, nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, you know. Well, it wasn't anywhere for seniors to go.
But sadly,
it hurts my heart.
If things don't change soon,
our biggest concern is just keeping the lights on.
There will once again be nowhere for low-income seniors in Old Louisville to go.
At this point, we're probably a month or two away from closing.
Cookie Honigberg's grandfather started this place. They have a food pantry, feed dozens of people here every day, and more than 100 others with meal deliveries in the area.
We are within walking distance of 2 or 3 Section 8 housing, senior housing, and these people are living there because they can't afford to live anywhere else.
There's even a social worker here to help people find jobs and housing. But Honigberg says city funds have dried up. They rely on donations and desperately need more. All of it could be too much for them to overcome.
There's only so much we can do without having help come in. But what would these people do without us?
For now, they'll wait and hope.
I know it's hard for people who are more affluent to think of a place like this. But any of us can be a week away from being there.
That the meals, the laughs, and the corner pocket combos can hang on just a little longer.
Whatever you can do, we need help.
Kentucky has so many remarkable stories that lie just below the surface, waiting to be scratched.
Like a bad itch from a mosquito on a swampy bluegrass summer evening. This story yearns to be scratched.
I'm not sure how many of the people driving up and down this road are aware of how significant this site is to the history of horse racing, not only in Kentucky, but the history of horse racing throughout the United States.
Around the bend of Westport Road, people mow their lawns, drive their cars, live their lives in Woodlawn Park. On the surface, it's a neighborhood like any other. Homes built in the post-war 1950s suburban boom. I even grew up here, spent my entire childhood living in Woodlawn Park. And the only sign that this spot was ever anything else may in fact be this sign, a historical marker marking the site of the old Woodlawn Racecourse.
When Woodlawn Racecourse debuts in 1859, you have the blue bloods coming out for those races.
Jim Seaver with the Kentucky Historical Society says for about a decade, the Woodlawn Racecourse was one of the most significant racetracks of its time. It was started by R.A. Alexander, one of the most prominent horsemen and richest Kentuckians of that era.
He was very committed to this idea that there should be an elite racetrack in the Louisville area.
And elite it was, years before the Kentucky Derby was even a thought. This was the place to be in Louisville. Women dressed to the nines, a trophy commissioned by none other than Tiffany & Company, an exquisite clubhouse. This old home is rumored to have been part of it. Famed General George Custer even raced thoroughbreds here before being killed at the Battle of Little Bighorn.
Even before that battle, he was very much a celebrity and he was very focused on his image. He spent time with his wife in Kentucky. He owned thoroughbred racehorses. In fact, the horse that he took with him out west was descended from Lexington.
The track was built along the railroad to make it easier for fans to get here. There's a lot of mystery surrounding this place, including where the track itself sat. Growing up here, we always theorized it was right here because it's a circle. Kentucky was not the epicenter of horse racing back then. New York was. But this track was called the Saratoga of the West, and it proved that the center of gravity in the horse racing industry could shift to Kentucky, Louisville in particular.
Woodlawn Racecourse is a success, and it's really seen as this gem of the Kentucky horse racing scene.
Sadly, that success is short-lived. There was the death of R.A. Alexander, several rainy seasons in a row, and of course, the Civil War. That Tiffany's Woodlawn vase was even buried to hide it from Confederate guerrilla soldiers. But the founders of the Kentucky Derby had their eyes on this course, knew what doomed it, and how to not have that happen to them. The Derby is now the oldest continuously running sporting event in the United States. And while today things are quieter here, if you let your imagination take you back, you can look at the old trees and almost picture it. One more story buried below the surface. During one of the turns at the track, the thoroughbreds would disappear from the crowd's view, hidden behind a row of trees. It seems like something that spectators would complain about, but became an experience they remembered most.
Talking about how fascinating and exhilarating it was for them to watch the horses go out of view behind the trees and then emerge a few seconds later, and it could be a completely different race by that point.